Hello, everyone. So, welcome to it's his week 3, race 2 of the Herd Summer Racing League. And joining me today is Mark John again after a superb performance last week. Hi, Mark.
Hi, Matt.
And how did your race go earlier?
It could have gone better. I think, there was a chance of winning still at the end, but I came fourth. So,
Yeah.
yeah, survived the hill and then messed up the sprint, which is not the way around it's meant to go for me.
It's probably one of the least ideal courses for you, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely would say so. I mean, I think the way it made out, it was pretty tactical on the hill. I don't think anyone in our group was going full out, but we didn't really need to. It was just like sticking together.
Yeah.
So, could have been worse, but yeah, in the end, managed to turn it into a race of 3 sprints.
Excellent.
I just didn't win any of them. So
Well done. Did you if you get a chance, watch the stream that I did earlier and check out my sprint. I think you might be proud of me for once on a sprint.
I was watching that thinking, how on earth has he beat? I knew you beat him. I was watching it like, well, he hasn't gone yet. How does he? How do you win here? And then you did. Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Crazy.
maybe I didn't time it quite as well as I could, but the fact that I beat him just on the line, so really my timing was absolutely perfect.
Yeah. I went far too early and then got overtaken.
Oh
so.
no! Okay. Oh gosh. Well, the tables are turned. So looks like we've got some really good fields this week. We've got lots and lots of riders. We've got nearly 10 in the Ds. We've got, oh my god, we've got like nearly 30 in the Cs. 15 maybe in the Bs. By the way, I'm not counting these, so if anyone's... And then like another 15 in the As. So looks like it could be some really exciting racing, although I'm seeing some people in the As that have already potentially ridden, but they might well ride again. So the Cs, we've got the fantastic battle of Paul Kelleher and William Ung again, which should be good.
Yep, Paul came out trumps in the end last week.
Certainly did. Yeah, I mean, Paul's on fire at the moment. Every week I've watched him, he's been really, really good. But so we'll see though. This is for those that aren't aware, this course again, it's a point. They're all points races. There's 3 point to point segments or points. The first is a sprint after about 1.6 kilometers, which is just a normal standard kind of sprint. Then after I think around 7.4, you've got the com, which is about 5.4 kilometers long, and it's your time on the com. So you don't have to be the first across the banner, but it's your time. But then it's first across the line. There's another 3k after the top of the com to the finish, and then it's first across the line. So yes, it's completely different to last week's sprint race, Mark.
Yes, yeah, we still got a little bit of a bit of a sprint, and then there's a chance to play games at the start of the com if you feel like it. I think I did do a little bit of that. It gained me a place by the top, but yes,
yeah.
16 minutes, I guess you did it in, and then I assume down to 25-30 minutes for the Ds. It's a long climb.
Yeah. Now, unfortunately, the D race has started, and I've done my normal thing of forgetting that I haven't logged my computer into the Wi-Fi. But now I'm on, so I'm going to start. So apologies, everyone, and we're going to start following. We'll jump in with Paul Kelleher. He's our favourite, and if I can find him. We will fan view it now. Yeah, I'm trying to. Okay, I got it. So we're with William Ung right now, who is a very decent sprinter. And he's in a very good sprinty position. Are you watching it as well?
Yeah. Oh, here he goes. Yeah, Paul and William and Hamlin all hanging back. I assume they're all going for the sprints. Nobody else seems to be, but there we go.
Going to be Williams' points on this one. Fair play.
Yeah, definitely.
Decent sprint there. Very nice. Very nice.
Paul
Okay.
might be in a bit of trouble there because I think he went too early, but he woke up a couple of others that did a
Okay.
sprint, and they may have caught him on the line there by time. So that'll be interesting.
Okay. Wow. It's. Oh no, no. I was going to say it's broken up, but it's because the riders are ahead. So yeah. So that's the first sprint. Now, um, they've got to face. They've got the reverse side of the leg snapper, which actually is quite steep. There's no. It's not a sprint point though, so there's no real need to sort of put a big effort in unless you specifically want to try to break up the group, which could happen. But it looks like there's a group of maybe 5 or 6 out of the 10, so already there's a bit of a separation here. So
Yep, William is trying to engineer the troops, all the sprinters, to sort of carry on.
yeah, yeah. I think this is definitely it's going to be an interesting battle between William and Paul this week. Although I think my feeling is that Paul is I think he's going to be a better climber myself. Although I mean this is not any. He is 97 kilograms, so maybe he's. Let's see. There is a 64 kilogram guy in this, and in general, weight tends to give you an advantage on the climb. So there's a guy called Raymond M. So it could be interesting if that person is decent
I
on the
I,
climb.
I I see Raymond pushing the pace at the moment,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
yeah, shout out to Jeff Stoll as well, the other herd rider who's still in the front group.
excellent. So once everyone starts, we will be able to follow the individual races within the race. But for the moment, I need to use the fan view. That's the only way of actually doing it. So let's just jump into the C's, who are about to start now. We'll jump in with Kevin Fogelberg. Oh, they have started. Yeah.
Yes.
So the C's are off now. The C's. Um, there's a pretty decent race here. They've got around nearly 30 riders. We've got a lot of herds again. We've got so Ed. I like the fact that Ed Whedon is racing up. He's actually a D, but he's racing up in the C's, which I think is very impressive. But then we've got Alan Bray, Colin Sheridan, Kerry Lash, Kevin Fogelberg, Shane Alfreds. So we've got a lot of really good C's there. There's only 3 ATPs. Normally it's ATP versus herd. But we have got Tim Mullett, who is a very decent C rider. So I think they're going to have a really good race of C's this week.
Yeah, Tim Mullet's the one to beat. He's one of 3 Cat C's to have won both of the first 2 weeks.
Right, yeah,
So
yeah. Then again, you never know. Like the hills,
yeah,
really,
difficult.
they completely make a difference. So we in the earlier race we have Dan Manalo, who's a fantastic sprinter, but he was 3 minutes behind on the hill. But he was with us until about halfway, and then dropped back quite a long way. So you just never know how people are going to react on the hills. I think it really changed things up. But yeah, looking forward to. I don't know about in your race. We did not. Well, I was in your race, so what am I talking about? The A's didn't catch the B's at all. We caught a couple of B's that had dropped off. Did you
Yeah.
guys catch the C's at all?
I think we've caught some C's, but I'm not sure. I don't think I saw Chris, so I don't think we caught the front C's.
Right. Yeah. 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 No, Chris Greenland had a really good race, so he won the C's, which is great.
Kevin's leading out the sprint, it
He
seems.
he is. Yeah. Let's. So here he goes. Oh, who's that that's jumped in? I haven't got the name. I'm really sorry, everyone. Unfortunately, this is the only view that we have at the moment. But
One of them's called Tico,
Tico,
and
we'll grab the Do the sprint times come up on the? Because you grabbed them last time, didn't you? Can you get them on the live feed?
So on the Swift Power Primes page, the D times have come up.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
and so long as the C's have gone faster than the D's, we'll be able to see the C times.
Perfect.
And yeah, then I'll be able to see the B ones in game because I'm sat in the B pen.
Yeah. Yeah. Excellent. So
But yeah,
yes.
Paul did finish fifth in the Cat D sprint.
Wow.
So work to do.
So one of the funny, well, I don't know if it's funny or not funny, but in our race there was a pro guy, and I'm not 100% sure that he really he expected the sprint in that first sprint to take place. So he was like sitting in the pack, and then everyone just absolutely burned off, and the next minute he's like 13 seconds behind, and then he stopped. And I don't know if it's I don't know if he had a technical. Maybe he had a technical. It could have been the case, but it just could have been the case that he didn't realise that it was a points race and was wondering like, what the heck is everyone just sprinting off for and leaving me behind? Because yeah, that was the end of it. Okay, so we're watching Kevin. They've all gone over the top together. There's quite a separation in that C race.
I've just gone back up to the D's. It looks like Raymond and Paul Kelleher have dropped everyone else.
Really? Okay.
Not even out of Innsbruck yet.
Wow. Yeah, I'm going to jump across to the I'm going to jump across to the D's, and let's just jump in with Paul then. Paul, yeah, here he is, right at the bottom. Oh wow. Yeah, they have definitely got a gap. It's about a 5-second gap there, I think. But somebody's chasing. Let's see if we can work out who is chasing there. I'll have a quick view on William Ung. So no, William's not. He's not the chaser. But there is, yeah, they are slowly closing up, I think. But yeah, that could be. No, it's kind of.
It's not really necessary. You don't really want to have a small lead going into the climb because that can only go wrong if you get caught.
Absolutely. Well, because yeah, it's no, they have closed up, and exactly like you say, if you've got somebody to chase, it's a bit more motivation, isn't it, as well? And this isn't there are some draftable moments on it, but a lot of it's not. The actual steep climbs, I didn't find them very draftable at all today. The steep bits, the flat bits, obviously there are a few flat bits, but yeah, no, they've closed up. So there's a group of 6 have broken away.
You might want to go over to Cat B now. They're underway.
Okay.
Per sprint.
Yeah, good shout. So
we've got Szymanski and Schilling, Shukaro.
Okay, so I'm in with so you've got Max. Who have we got with the B? So yeah, Paul Shukaro, who's very decent on this type of course, I think. From the herds, we've got Joshua Walner. Let's just crack into the thing. Actually, there's not a huge number of Bs that have started. So there's only Joel Jacobson. Looks like the only herd that's actually started.
There's a Boop Taylor Canadian herd rider as well in here.
Yeah, you're right. More people have suddenly. Yeah, he's down as Snow. So yeah, you're right. And actually, it kind of. We've got Jen Moroz, who's a lady. She's an A lady riding the B. So, and she's only 52 kilograms. So she could really shake things up on the climb. Going to be looking to see how she gets on.
I'm watching out for Schilling here because I fancy he knows there's a sprint this time and he's going to be up there.
Yeah. I can't see who's in the lead. Max is in second.
The Young is going to cross the line first. Schilling will cross the line second.
Yeah.
Young with 10.03, Schilling 10.05. Max Szymanski 10.5, Juntica, Mack, Jones, Stoker, Moroz, Hay, and Jacobson in 10th.
Nice. So let's hope that that Jen hasn't been shelled out here, because if she can stay with this group, I think she could do some serious damage on the climb.
Yeah, well, she had the 8th time, so I'm sure she's
Oh,
still
nice.
nicely in there.
Excellent. Let's have a...
Although she is right at the back, actually, looking at it, so she's going to have to use the leg snapper to get back on.
Yeah, yeah. I'm going to jump over to the D's, and look at this. It's all broken up already, and they're hardly into the climb. So let's see where Paul is. Paul's in the lead, and Raymond is second, but there's a big gap. But yeah, this is very, very early days, and unless you pace this well, I mean, I don't know about in your race, but there was one guy in my race who I think I got about a 20-second gap on him about halfway, and he just slowly closed up. He clearly paced it really, really well, and he caught me right at the top. I only just thought we must have started exactly together at the bottom, because I managed to kind of sprint across the line and just beat his time. But yeah, this is a very, like, pacing it's super important on this one, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, well, I think, well, for our race, there was one guy who went off in front, and we kind of just, nobody was wanting to chase him down. So he had a good day.
Who went off the
But
front?
yeah, it was Shiramoto, Dan Shiramoto.
Okay. Okay. So the A's have started, so I'm going to jump in with the A's.
Yeah. And just a quick B update. Unfortunately, Jen Moraz is now nearly 10 seconds behind the 13 lead Bs.
Okay. So in the A's, good to see Scorekeeper back in. I haven't seen him the last few weeks. So we've got, looks like a really decent race. So Scorekeeper's not in the thing here, but we've got Jason Robinson. Did he start? Yeah, we've got Alex Cooper, who's a very good climber. We've got Lieberman, who's got a little tick. I don't know if he's a pro guy or not. It's a she.
Rachel.
Oh my goodness. Okay, yeah. So apologies. That's great. We've got Dan Manalo again, who's already done the A race, already done the first race, so that's absolute madness. Yeah, Jason Robinson started. And Sakafadi is also very good. So I think Alex and Scorekeeper will be ones to look out for on the climb, and obviously Jason Robinson.
Yeah, and we've got Gonzalo Ruiz has attacked and already got a 2-second lead.
Oh yeah. Well, he might not be aware that it's a points race. I think that's unfortunately quite often the case. But yeah, what can you do, eh?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Let's just check. Okay, so they're coming around the corner now, and unfortunately, having that lead at this point is probably not good in terms of the sprint anyway, is it? When really,
it's quite interesting how spread out it is. We've got our sprinters group at the back, and the guys in front are pulling away. The leg snap is going to be interesting here for these lot.
Yeah. So Dan has sat right in with Michael Fish and Scorekeeper. Dan has got a really I mean, these guys, Scorekeeper, Jason Robinson, and Dan Manalo have got fantastic sprints. Scorekeeper's launched completely.
Yeah.
15 watts per kilo, but Jason Robinson now 17 watts per kilo, and is closing up. Dan is closing up on both of them. What a fantastic sprint! Look at this.
That's going to be Manolo's going to be the fastest.
He is,
Robinson is going to be second.
Yeah, look at that. Amazing. Yeah, Scorekeeper went a little bit early, didn't he?
Well, I noticed to Jason, he did like a 10-12 kick and then stopped, but then scorekeeper immediately went.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I think he got a bit baited there.
yeah. And Lieberman was in fifth in the sprint, so that was a decent sprint, but it's 10 seconds behind.
Yeah, Fish, Lieberman, and Scaffardi, they've got work to do now.
Yeah, yeah, they have. Although this one, if you are a really good climber, obviously that 10 seconds isn't very much. But we'll see.
The problem is that Ruiz is pushing on, so it's not going to be an easy 10 seconds to close.
Yeah, yeah, Ruiz is. She's doing like 4.6, 4.8 watts per kilo, so she's going pretty hardcore, and it is slowly coming back. Yeah, it's down to 7 seconds. We'll keep an eye on that one. Okay, now I'm going to jump back to the, if it's even possible. Oh no, I've really mucked things up. Oh no, maybe I can do it like this. Okay, I can't do it like that. I think I've come out of the event. So we're going to go back to the D's. Some of the D's have already been caught by the C's. Is it?
Yep, the lead C's are maybe a minute behind the lead D's now.
Yeah. Okay. This is how I do it. Right. So I'm going to go with Paul. So Paul's got a 1 second lead at the moment. William Ung is a minute and a half behind now. So we've got Paul in front. Brooks is 2 seconds, but just closing in. He's put the gap on Raymond. So, but he's still. This is very early days. I think it goes to about 12.8 kilometers, and they're only at 8.7. So a lot of kilometers to go. And the C group, who started 5 minutes behind, are only a minute behind. Minute behind now. So we're going to jump in with Tim Mullett, who's leading the C's out. Let's look at the C group. So yeah, what I love about these hill races is just the carnage that the hills create. Um, everything. You've got all these riders like some of the really good sprinters and very strong riders, and they just get completely shelled out the back. But Tim Mullett is up in the front group. So we've got a front group of about 5 or 6 riders. A small gap to some of the herd riders with Kevin Fogelberg and Alan Bray, and Shane Alfred is just behind.
Yeah, so the Tico Burns guy who's still up there with Muller at the moment, he won the sprint. So
Okay.
he's got the advantage, and if he sticks with Muller, then that could be enough overall. So Muller's
Yeah.
going to need to drop him.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. So let's just jump in with the Bs. So it looks like Max and so in the Bs we've got Hay here that is leading the Bs. There is a small group just behind them. So there's 2 Bs that have kind of broken away, and then a small gap, and then Paul Shuckero, S Mac, Boop Taylor, who's the herd guy. But yeah, it's already the Bs has been completely blown apart. Look at it, it's absolutely strung out down the road.
It is. And what I also find interesting is that Schilling and Young were the ones who did the best in the sprint or were up there in the sprint, but Young is chasing back on, it seems, but Schilling's 9th at the moment.
Yeah, Schilling's well down. I'm surprised that Max Szymanski, whenever I've raced him, he's been very decent on the climbs, and he's lost 20 seconds already. And just to jump back to the A's, so yeah, so Ruiz is well out in front. I don't know if he's a yeah, where his power's coming from. But then we've got a gap to, yeah, they've got they're coming up to the climb. So we've got Alex Cooper, Jason Robinson, Dan Manalo, scorekeeper. So quite a decent group. Doesn't look like Rachel Lieberman's been able to close that gap down. So she's at 11 seconds down. But if you can keep,
she's held the gap.
yeah,
So she's doing a good effort. Scaffardi's a bit further back, and Mike Fish has decided he'll try again another day.
yeah, he has. He's bailed. He's completely bailed. Didn't like the sprint at all, and he's a pretty decent sprinter, isn't he?
Yeah, that I think decent sprinter, but not quite a Manolo scorekeeper Robinson sprinter, and the tactics didn't work there.
Yeah, well, those guys are pretty. Scorekeeper's on a 0. He's on a 0 watts per kilo. I'm really looking forward to seeing how Alex Cooper gets on, because I've seen some fantastic climbs from him in the past, and he's the lightest by a long way from these guys. So I don't know where he's at with his fitness at the moment, because he hasn't been climbing quite as well as I've seen him in the past. But he could really do something if his fitness is in good place, because he's just so much lighter than everyone. But then again, you've got Scorekeeper, who's always a fantastic climber, isn't he?
Yeah, so I just had a look at Alex's profile, and when the Winter League did Actabarn on the 17th of March, he did a 4.8 minutes.
Wow. So, okay. Yeah. That's decent. Well, it's better than I've ever done. So. So Ruiz is he's off. He's off up the road. Let's have a look at. Oh, he's not. Yeah, he's not even in. Go on.
So he is on Zwift powder. So they do have to be wary of the fact there that if he stays away, he'll get the points at the finish, and well, we'll see about the climb. Like, if they're holding back and letting him get a gap and close it down, then Ruiz won't score on the climb, and he might already have lost a lot of points on the sprint.
I mean, Ruiz is an A+ rider. He wins a lot of races. He's got a 20 minutes of 5.3, and his sprint is 1,256 watts. So he's clearly a very decent rider. So these guys, well, they're just not. I don't think they're going to catch him, are they? Because he's just too good.
But no, but he's good. He stopped. He's going like 2 watts a kilo.
Oh, he has as well. Maybe he's waiting for them for some bizarre reason.
But well, don't need to worry about him in the race then.
Well, he's now back. He's back up to 4.7 again.
Bizarre.
But they've all caught him. So that's weird. Okay, well,
he certainly doesn't know the rules and how the scoring works.
So where are we at here? So we've now Ruiz they're all back together. Robinson, scorekeeper, Alex Cooper, M. Whittle, and Dan are all in the group. Rachel Lieberman's now at the moment 20 seconds behind. She's quite light though, so I'm looking for a good performance on the hill from her. So let's jump back in with the D's, and looks like Paul is still leading the way.
Yeah, and still holding off the C's as well.
Yeah, and so Paul has he's got Jay Brooks for company, but he's got 22 seconds on the group with Tim Mullett, Prescott, Tico, who like you say won the sprint, right? And Tin Man. Yeah. Brooks is just overtaking him. But yeah, it looks like he's holding a decent amount of watts. They're about halfway up the climb now. So this is a good effort from Paul. 139, 140 beats per minute. Don't know what his max heart rate is, but I would say that's fairly manageable. Brooks hasn't got a heart monitor. Um, but yeah, the C's are closing up. So if we have a look at the C's, Mullet's in front with Tin Man and Tico. Kevin Fogelberg's kind of holding that 14-second gap. Has moved away from Alan Bray, and then we've got Shane after that. But yeah, this looks like they're gonna catch those D's any moment now.
Yeah, and then that's going to be the interesting thing. We got Brooks and Paul together at the moment, but will one of them hold with the C's for longer?
Yeah,
without blowing up.
I don't think they're going to be able to do it this week. We've seen it in the other races, but it's very different. I just don't think there's enough draft. So the B's is looking really interesting. It looks like, if I'm seeing this correctly, that we've got Juntika, who's broken away from OTR, but then Paul Shuckero has managed himself very well and is now second in the B's with a 12-second gap over Young.
Yeah, it's single file as well. No groups, just...
It's completely blown apart, isn't it? The B's is just incredibly... I mean, there's people that are a minute behind already in the B's. And that's like the sixth person. Schilling's miles back. Szymanski is a long way back as well. Yeah. And let's just jump back to the A's. I can't see Ruiz there at all. What's happened to... I think Ruiz has bailed.
He's still riding, but he has been dropped.
Oh, yeah, he has. Yeah, you're absolutely right. That is very strange, isn't it? Let's just jump to him. Because his heart rate's not that high. Yeah, he's been completely dropped. So, at the front of the A's now, we've got Whittle and Scorekeeper. Scorekeeper will, how he rides, he will never push this. He always just sits in, and that's fine. That he wins races, so that's good. Then we've got a small gap to Alex Cooper and Jason Robinson, and Dan is sitting in there. Rachel is 21 seconds. That's not really opening up, and she's pushing 5 watts per kilo. So I don't know. She could catch them. She's only 15 seconds behind Dan. I think she's going to take Dan.
Yeah. Dan, I assume Dan has gone for the strategy of hold on as long as possible and worry about what the rest of the race later.
Yeah, I mean Dan already did the 7 o'clock race or 7:15. The rate at which Rachel is coming back at him, he looks like unfortunately he's blown.
And Scorekeeper, just to prove you wrong, is now on the front.
Oh, he is as well. He's probably watching this. He's like, I'll show you. Come on, Whittle, go past him just to prove me right.
To be honest, for Scorekeeper, if he stays with Whittle all the way, it doesn't matter if Whittle beats him at the prime or the sprint because he's probably gained so many points in the sprint that...
Yeah. Oh, Whittle's going past. It's good to see... So let's just see. It's good to see Alex Cooper having a good ride.
Yeah.
All right, but I better jump back to the front of the race. So Tim Mullet is now completely in front of the race.
Paul Kelleher just sprinted up to the C group.
Okay, yeah. He's right there actually. He's now got a 4-second gap on Brooks.
He just sprinted up across. That's impressive.
That is impressive.
Will he regret it now as he slips back again? I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's done well. I mean, within the time we've been speaking, he's taken 6 seconds out of Brooks. But it's difficult now because he's now at the 14% mark. But he's only got actually very soon. He's off again. He's sprinting again. Very soon it levels out, doesn't it? So if he knows that, this is perfect because if he can keep with them, he's really got to keep with them for about 300 meters. Then it will level out, and then if he can stay with the draft, but he is slightly dropping back. Oh,
I, I
Paul.
think I think the damage. I think he's done enough. I don't see Brooks coming back to him either way. But
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's so close.
Yeah, yeah, he's a long way. So the C's, it looks like Mullet, Tico, and Prescott are going over the top first. Oh, sorry, and Tin Man. Then we've got then we've got a bit of a gap. It's only sort of 11 seconds or 15 seconds maybe to the C's, and we've got Shane, Fogelberg, and Bray all from the herd, and then a little gap: Berry, Kane, and Barr. After that, the B. So Jontika has really broken away and has now got 16 seconds on Shakaro. And Shakaro's got 11 seconds over Hay and Young. So this will be interesting because if Shakaro goes over the top, those guys could work together to catch him right down the other side.
I mean, I think they still could catch him on the climb. That's yeah,
Well, that's true.
but they're not that far away. And Young won the sprint, and I think Juntica was fourth in the sprint. So
Yeah,
Juntica is going to be cheering Shukaro on here, I'm sure.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Then if we, well, actually, what we'll do, I'll stick with the C's because they are just about to reach the top here. Well, they're 11.5, so they've got just over a kilometre. But this is where it flattens out a little bit now, which is very
And
very welcome.
Brooks is coming back to pole. The bees are going to be back
Yeah,
together
he
again.
is, isn't he? He's got right back on him. Paul's heart rate is pretty low still, though. Um, but yeah, that's amazing because Brooks was over 20 seconds behind there, and Fogelberg, Shane, and Alan Bray are all catching up as well.
Yep, we're going to get a even bigger herd group with Paul in the mix as well. New riders to try and sprint after, but I think they're just reaching the end of the steep bit.
Right. Yep. Yep. They are.
11.8 is when it gets a bit nicer.
Is that right? I wish I'd known that in my race.
I didn't know exactly where. I was just working off. I knew it was a
Yeah.
3 kilometre descent, and it's about a kilometre before the top of the climb, and it gets a bit easier.
God,
So yeah.
I really wish I'd known that. Because yeah, I kind of I didn't even know if this side did flatten off or not. And I saw that guy coming up behind me. So yeah, poor old Prescott, he's got himself dropped by 9 seconds, which is really unfortunate because these guys are going to totally work together, aren't they?
Yeah, that's fourth place secured for Prescott, but no
Yeah,
better.
yeah, yeah. Okay, so they've nearly at the finish. So this is going to be. We'll stick with these guys to see who goes through the banner first. Now we're expecting Mullet, aren't we?
Mullet needs to beat Tico here, I think, to keep
Oh,
the race alive.
because Tico won the first. He won the first sprint, didn't
Yeah,
he? Yep, yeah, that's it.
Tico's got a good sprint.
Mullet's pushing on now. He's pushing through. But he's at 5 watts per kilo, so he's obviously coming back. And Tin Man, yeah, this is going to be it's going to be a good little sprint to the line, I think. And
Yeah.
Tico seems to be the sprinting boy, so when is he going to launch? He's at 5 watts per kilo now. No, 4 watts per kilo. So the banner's just round the corner, isn't it?
Yes, there's a little bit of a straight after the turn, but not too far.
Yeah. By this time, I honestly can't remember anything from my race from this point onwards because I was too too dead. Okay. So let's have a look at it from Tico's point of view. Yeah, Here comes the banner. Is Mullet going to launch? Tico's gone. Feathers are
Go
being
for feathers.
dropped. Mullet's not responding. Oh no, Mullet's in front. Mullet's in front. Tico's responding.
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
it's
it's going
going
to
to
be
come
so
down.
tight. I think
It's going
Tico's
to come
got it.
down. Wow, but who started the climb
Oh,
first?
yeah,
That's the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
question.
Good point. Oh, and we can't see because we can only see our own races. So we're going to need to wait for the results to open up. Okay, that.
It says yeah, it says they both took the KOM jersey, which I think means whoever crossed second had the better time.
Okay.
So I think that was Mullet,
Yeah.
but
Okay. Oh, yeah, yeah. I see what you're saying. Right. Good point. Okay, so we're going to go back to the D's. Um. So now, as yeah, so Paul's broken away from Brooks again. He's now got 16 seconds. It's kind of really yo-yoing this one.
has he used Shane and Kevin a bit there? I wonder.
Yeah, and fair play if he did. Although he's quite yeah. So Shane's moving away. Shane has really picked up the pace in the C's. But yeah, great ride from Paul. I mean, Paul every single week, Paul is smashing these D's. So yeah, looks like a nice top points for Paul here. Now I'm going to jump back to the B's. So we got young Tika, who's actually got a minute now. Wow, over Paul Shokaro. He's really broken away. But Shokaro and Young and Hay are all together.
Uh-huh.
This is quite cool.
So I've kept my screen on the C, so I want to see how Mullet and Tico
Yeah,
fight it
yeah.
out at the finish.
I'm just going to very quickly jump into the A's. So
They're coming up to 15k to see, so won't
yeah,
be long.
yeah, yeah. So in the A's, scorekeeper and Whittle are breaking away, but Rachel Lieberman has overtaken all the other A's and is in third place now in the A's.
Oh wow!
Yeah, very impressive. Right, so I've got to jump back to Mullet. So who am I jumping to?
Mullet and Tico at the front. They're coming up to that final sort of zigzag bend. Can't be long to the finish line. Well, it's 16 kilometres to finish line,
Oh
isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah, yeah,
They're
yeah,
15.5. They've not launched yet. They're side by side. No one's getting any draft.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. Come on, guys. Tico's gone. They've both gone. So
And
this is probably it, isn't it? For the whoever gets this, and we can't see the
yeah,
finish.
I think Mullet's
I think Mullet's got it, isn't he?
he's got it on the line. It's going to depend on
Fantastic.
how many points did he lose at the sprint.
Yeah,
Is the
yeah.
key there.
All right. So who do I want to jump in? Oh no! Is it taking me out of the? Oh no, I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go. Oh, it's all right. Jump in like this. Yeah, yeah. It's okay. I'm good. I'm good. Because it does this funny thing where it takes you out of the race, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So okay. So Paul. Yeah. So that's who we were watching. So now we want to go. No. We're watching Mullet. Okay. So now we need to go back to the bees. Okay. Scrolling. Oh yeah. So young Tika. He's no. He's not finished. He has finished. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Young Tika's finished. Yeah. I did.
No, he's going downhill. He's not finished yet, but the win is his. Paul Young has gone crazy and is now solo in second.
Yeah. Now I understand why the distance. I don't know who's saying that. But they all no. I think they've all finished. Oh, scorekeeper and Whittle. Whoa!
They just crossed the summit.
I did a faster time than scorekeeper. I'd just like to say that.
So Gemma was second fastest time in Cat B. She's picked off a load of people.
Wow.
She's up to fifth on the road.
Excellent. Oh yeah. So I'm getting completely confused here. Looks like Lieberman's going over in third place. Yeah. So it's a downhill, but they haven't quite finished yet. So Jontika is definitely won the bees.
Yeah.
But then Young has broken away. He's got a really good gap, 7 seconds over Hay, and he's super tucking.
So, in fact, I think Jen Mraz has won the race for Juntika, which is, I think they are teammates, so that's worked out quite nicely because she's ensured that Juntika's gained an extra point on Young on the climb,
Oh, okay.
which, so I think they might end on the same points, Juntika and Young, but Juntika finished first.
So hold on, did we miss Jen? You talking about
No,
Jen?
no, yeah, so she's fifth on the road, but because she started further behind, she did a faster climb than everyone apart from Juntika.
Oh wow. So we're with Young right now. So Hay is closing up. He's only 6 seconds behind, but it's coming to the finish any moment now.
Yeah, it's not enough time. If it was
Yeah,
the full descent, maybe, but
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's it.
Okay, let's jump back to scorekeeper and Whittle. Yeah, he's okay. So scorekeeper and Whittle. This should be an interesting finish here. Scorekeeper's super tuck in. Now, yeah, so we can actually see the distance properly here. So they're at 15 kilometers. So there's 1 kilometer to go. Very impressive of Rachel Liebman. She's only 49 seconds back. So she's really climbed hard. She's
Yeah,
gone over a minute ahead of Alex Cooper. Jason Robinson's over 2 minutes behind.
Jason Robinson is saving his energy, and he'll waste this again, I'm sure.
Yeah, sure. Um,
But yeah, here we go, scorekeeper and Whittle.
yeah. Oh yeah. It's the last 300 meters.
Oh, scorekeeper's got an arrow. You don't beat scorekeeper when he's got an arrow.
No, although
Oh, well, maybe you do.
the other guy had an arrow as well. 17 watts per
Oh,
no, 17 watts per kilo. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah, nice
good
work from
effort.
scorekeeper. Okay. Um. Oh, now I need to jump back into the race. Oh yeah, the only way to do it is to go back to me. And
Mac and beat Mac and Taylor from Herd is trying to hold off Mac, and I don't think has quite managed it. I think that was for like sixth place in the bees, and I'm out of the race again.
here's Rachel Lieberman. Yeah, it's difficult once you get out of the race. You the way the way this works. So Rachel Lieberman's easily got the. Although who's this? Oh, there was another rider suddenly showed up, but then I think it must have been a glitch. Yeah,
Yeah,
she's easily got the third place. Nice riding.
Szymanski and Schilling sprinting out for ninth in
Yeah.
B.
Oh yeah. And Schilling looks like he's taking him. Nice. Yeah, so Alex well over the line here. Well over into he's got a 40-second gap. And then Robinson, Scafardi, and Manalo are just they're just cruising it together. Ruiz, that's so surprising, that whole Ruiz thing, wasn't it? He looked like he was absolutely smashing it, and then he wasn't.
Yeah. So Jeff Stolf of the Herd, he's coming in to finish fourth in the D's, and
Jason
I think
Robinson, sorry, has launched
yeah,
himself with about 700 meters to go. He's at 14 watts per kilo, and he's still got over 500 meters. And then Dan's coming back.
That's that's kind of where I launched earlier.
Oh, is
It's
it?
not a
Right.
good idea. It's too early. But
Look at
good back and
this.
forth.
But then Scafardi's going to take them all, I think. Oh no! Is that Jason? Oh, it was so close. Well, I think that's it. It's getting too confusing to who's where and who's what. But William Ung's still cruising up the climb. Yeah, he's just gone through the banner. But yeah,
Yeah,
excellent racing. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I thought last week's was really, really exciting. Actually, this wasn't quite as exciting, but for hill climbers like me, it's much more enjoyable. But yeah, thanks very much, Mark. Really appreciate you joining.
yeah, no problem.
You.
I just had a quick look as if it looks like Tico got the win over Mullet.
Oh yeah, yeah. Let's
So
just yeah. So, are you able to work it out? Who's?
uh, it popped up already on the results list. So Tico 149 points, Mullet 147 points.
Yeah, excellent. So Scorekeeper must have won the A's, right?
Scorekeeper must have won the A's. John Tico must have won the B's, but I think it was only just. And yeah, Paul Keller has definitely won the D's.
Yeah, excellent. Well, thanks very much, Mark. Really appreciate you joining. That was awesome, and thanks everyone for listening. And hopefully, you can join us again next week. Until then,